And welcome to Crochet Hooks. Please enjoy our free tutorials with just one of a 24-part series on teaching you how to crochet. Subscribe to start receiving our 24 courses that are delivered to your email inbox every few days. By the time you're done, you'll know the ins and outs of crochet. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So now let's get crocheting with Curtsy. And welcome back to the Curtsy Crochet Hook program. Today I'm really excited about it. This is lesson number 22 in creating your own wire jewelry using your own crochet hook. And yes, the actual Curtsy crochet hooks can handle crocheting with wire. Now, crocheting with wire is actually a lot more simpler than you realize. Also, your creativity is just exploding from your hook onto the actual wire. You can add beads, and I have been known that when I'm looking at my outfit, I'm going to go a night on the town, I look at my outfit and say, I have nothing. There I am with the crochet hook, with my wire, with some extra beads, matching my actual bracelet to my outfit. And that sounds like it's totally crazy, but once you learn how to make jewelry using your crochet hook, you'll find yourself maybe doing the same thing. So let's get started on how to crochet with wire. In today's tutorial, we're going to be crocheting with wire, and today I pulled out my aluminum Curtsy crochet hook, and this is a 5.0 millimeter hook. You should also know that you should not be using bamboo hooks for these or resin, as they will snag on the wire. So let's look at the wire here. We have 26 gauge wire. Anything less in thickness, which would be 28 or 30, is so much more thinner and will potentially snap. So anything bigger, so 26 gauge, 24, 22, 20 is probably ideal. I find that 26 is heavy enough, and it provides, and I don't need to worry about it snapping when I'm making my jewelry. So let's get working with this wire. Also, this wire can also be found in fine retailers as well as Amazon.com. So let's get started on today's tutorial. With the artistic wire here, you'll notice that it's in a dispenser, and it's actually really perfect. So try to keep it in the dispenser if it's provided with one, and you just have to bang out the hole in the back and just feed the wire through. By leaving it there, you can actually find that your wire will not be tangling around or catching on anything as you're working with it. So what we need to do is just pull some of this wire out of the package, and let's look at the wire more carefully. So wire has a memory. I'm going to turn it, and look, it moves around. And the wonderful thing about wire is that the way that it bends and the way that it's acting, it makes for a really unique, fun look. And so basically, people get really worried about using the wire that it's going to bend in a really weird kind of way, but in actual fact, it actually works out to your advantage. So let's begin. When you're working with wire, you're going to want a significant tail, because this tail is going to be worked into using a secure mechanism. So it's not like you just want something really small. You do want to leave it. So about a 3 to 4 inch tail. And then I want to create a slip knot. So we just do it like it's regular yarn. So let's go around your finger twice. Okay. And so now remember the back of your hand, the forward, and we're going to take this, the back one, and we're going to move it over the forward, and then we're going to take the new back one and just bend it up, and you will notice right away it bends over and it stays over, and you can remove your finger just like so, and you just want to pull it. So I usually hold both when I do that. I pull, and then I'm going to pull again just like so. And I don't want, this is wire, so I don't want to be reefing on that, because I don't want to be making any extra silly bends in the material more than I have to. So let's work on to the next part. Like yarn, what we want to do is position the actual material going to the dispenser here, and we want to position that like it's regular yarn. And remember, this is the way that I've showed you how to hold it. If you have a different way, you can do it other ways as well. And you just got to pretend this is very much like yarn, and what you want to just do now is to begin the chaining process. So to do that, we can just go backward and we pull through. Now you'll notice that the first few times that you do that, you probably will not be as smooth as I am. It does take a little bit of getting used to, because you got more friction. This wire, it takes a little bit more pulling power. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to pull it to the point where it's going to cause any really kind of crimping or any kind of weird folds. So let's just do another one. So we're just going to chain like this. So rolling back and chained, and the dispenser is caught back up. So I'm just going to release more. I find I don't like to have a lot of wire coming out of the dispenser at one time. It just snags on everything around you, and I'm just chaining as normal. Okay, so what happens now, you want to double crochet yourself back across. I don't ever usually do this much because I just usually teach the chaining process to complete this bracelet. But let's say that we wanted to do that. So moving up in the chain, if we were to double crochet, I'm going to pinch it down below and I'm going to chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is where I'm pinching it, and the wire is actually more cooler, you can actually see better what you're doing. I want to do a double crochet, so I'm going to wrap the material going into the bottom. I'm going to pull through, so now you got 3 on your hook like you normally do, and I pulled through 2, and look, I've just gotten a little bit tight, so I'm just going to ease it off a little bit, and it's got tight because the dispenser caught up to my hand, and instead of relaxing a little bit, I pulled and it caused that to happen. So it's kind of like an outtake. I should re-film what I'm doing, but it's good to show you my mistakes. So let's do again. So we're going to go into the next one. Okay, and like so. And you're thinking to yourself, what a mess. And that's perfectly okay to be thinking that at this point, but the wire, because of what it is really pliable at the end to be able to manipulate it and move it around afterward. So I'm just going to work my way across. I've never actually showed how to double crochet with wire before, so maybe this is a good add-on to any video. Okay, so you can see it's very much like yarn, it's just a different property, and you can start seeing now I'm starting to get consistent, and you will find that with yourself too. It's like when you're learning to crochet, eventually all your stitches start looking absolutely identical once you get the knack of it and the feel with it in your hand. So will yours look as good when you first do it? Probably not, and that's normal. But the biggest mistake and the biggest lesson of today is with wire crochet. You are not always looking for every stitch to look identical, because what makes wire crochet very charming is the fact that it can look very irregular. So to cut this at the end, of course I don't have it with me and I'm kind of like a dummy that way, but you should actually just use nail clippers to clip this, and I will get that for the next tutorial. And what you can do is just trim it. So what I've just done now is that I've just cut the wires with nail cutters. I find these to be really good. That whole snapping process really does a nice clean edge on the end. So no matter what you've done here with the wire is very flexible, so you can bend it and it will retain its shape. You can push it together, right, and it will retain depending what you're up to. You can pull it in every direction. You can overstretch it back out. You can do lots of great little things with this. So don't be intimidated by crochet with wire. It's actually really kind of cool once you get used to it, and it's actually a lot of fun. So that's it for today's tutorial. So that was it, crocheting with wire. It's so much more simpler than you realize, isn't it? It's just a different kind of material that's operating in your hands. So now let's schedule you for lesson number 23. We are almost done this series, and in this lesson I'm going to show you how to apply beads onto wire. If you thought crocheting with wire is very simple, adding beads is just a snap. So let's get you started on lesson number 23, and I'll schedule you for that now. And until next time, I'm your host,